Pavlina from Pavlina's Kids Place. We are here in Daytona Beach, and what is Daytona Beach famous for? We've got the famous beaches, but it's February, so that means we're all here at the Daytona International Speedway for the biggest event of the year, which is the Daytona 500. Yeah, I know. Okay, so I have an interview with Jeff Gordon. Let's go check it out.
Hi, I'm Jeff Gordon, and you're watching Pavlina's Kids Place.
Hey everyone, this is Pavlina from Pavlina's Kids Place. I'm on location here in Daytona Beach with the amazing and NASCAR history-making Jeff Gordon. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Wonderful. Great to have you here at Daytona International Speedway and getting ready for our biggest race we have all year long. So this is a pleasure.
Yes, thank you. And it's great to be here. Everyone's really excited. So.
Yeah, this is an incredible time of the year for us. You know, the fans, the sport, the competitors, because we've been waiting all off season to get it all started, and here we are finally going to make it happen.
So I know you started off really young when you were racing. So how old were you, and did you ever get tired of it?
I started very, very young. My parents got me into racing quarter midgets when I was about 5.5 years old. I loved it right from the beginning, and you know, I grew with it. It grew with me. Never got tired of it, and here I am today.
Yeah, exactly. I know, like, a lot of kids will like do gymnastics or karate or something. They get tired of it, so that's great. You like kept going and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think, you know, if you're going to be successful at something, you have to have a passion for it. You have to be willing to work hard. You know, harder than anyone else out there, and for me, that's what racing was. It was just something I fell in love with right away and enjoyed it and was able to be successul at it. But it you know, drove me to want to do more. Of course, every once in a while I had to be pushed by someone like my parents or a crew chief or a car owner along the way. But you know, that's to be expected. But most of the time, I was pushing myself just to try to be better.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of kids my age are starting to get cars. So what was your first like non-racing car, and were you a good driver?
I like to think that I've always been a good driver on and off the racetrack. I lived in Indiana when I was 16 and got my driver's license, which you know, seems like there's a trend these days where kids aren't as excited about getting their driver's license like I was anyway. So I hope that there are a lot of kids out there that are, you know, about to turn 16 and can't wait to get their car like I was. But I had a 1980 Chevy step-side pickup truck that me and my dad fixed up. Wasn't anything fancy, but it was a great truck and car, especially around Indiana.
I was really excited. I got it like, I think a month ago, and I was like overjoyed. I was like, oh my gosh.
So what kind of car did you end up getting?
I don't have a car yet.
What?
I know.
Well, hold on. You got your license. You're excited about it. Yeah. What do you get to drive?
Okay, I want like a Mini Cooper or like a Hummer, so it's like completely different. It's like either like a cute car or like a tank on the road kind of thing. I don't really know though. My parents, like, they're like, well, you only go from home to school or to like a study group or to interviews, which we take you to. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know, as long as you get to drive maybe their car or something, you know, you can't get that excited about getting your driver's license and not have something to drive. But soon you'll find that perfect car for you, and you'll love it, I'm sure.
I'm really excited. Do you know any cars that are really good for first-time drivers?
Well, I'm a Chevy guy, so I am biased to Chevy, and there's some great, you know, there's the Sonic and the Cruise that are great cars. If you want a small, you know, very fuel efficient, which I highly recommend, you know, a car that's also safe.
There's been a lot of wrecks and like driving into other lanes. Is that on purpose, like to cause, you know, wrecks, or like was that total accident? And is that like something mean, or is it just something part of racing?
Well, yeah, it depends on the situation. You know, there's a lot of times where the competitive juices get flowing, and we as competitors, you know, take that very serious, and sometimes that pushes us maybe to our limits of you know, how far we're pushing the car and its limits, and sometimes you lose control accidentally. Sometimes just out of pure anger and emotion, it gets the best of you, to maybe you don't make the best decisions and could possibly cause a wreck that way as well. So it depends on the situation.
When you had your first wreck, like, was it really scary or anything? Like, how did you react to that?
Yeah, when I was racing quarter midgets, there were some wrecks that happened early on. You know, one might be just a spin and a little bump here and there, but my first major wreck, yeah, it was scary. You don't know what, in any wreck, you never know once you lose control of the car what the outcome is going to be. You don't know if you're going to be safe. You don't know what the damage is going to be to the car or other competitors. And so I've had a few instances like that over the years that were very, very scary. But the difference between, I think, somebody just trying to be a race car driver and somebody who's actually a professional race car driver is when that moment happens, you're ready to get right back in there and do it again. It might scare you at the moment, but you know that the only way is to get right back out there and go again.
It's great. I get scared when I don't stop at a red light fast enough. So, women in racing, like Danica Patrick, do you think that'll bring more women to racing?
I hope so. I mean, when I was growing up, there were definitely some female quarter midget and go-kart racers that were very talented, you know, and some of them continue to pursue that dream and goal. I think that we have to get more females involved very early on, you know, because the more females we get into racing, the better talent that we're going to be able to find, and the more they're going to be able to hone their skills and get to this level. You know, there's the percentages of men or boys, you know, starting at a young age are so much greater, and it's so hard to make it, even for all those guys that are trying to make it. So when you narrow the percentages down with the female race car drivers, it gets even tougher. So what Danica's done has been amazing. She's a great driver, and she's really set the tone for other young girls to look up to her and want to get involved in racing at a young age. So I think it's definitely going to impact the sport, and so hopefully we'll see more in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's amazing what she's done too. But I also heard Richard Petty made some kind of comment about her. I guess, I don't know, I just heard about that. What are your opinions on that?
Yeah, I haven't heard, you know, everything that Richard said, but I do know that you know, Richard's old school. Richard, you know, he's the king, and you know, the things that applied back when he was racing are probably a lot different than today. The world has changed, and you know, so have the faces within the garage area. And so I think Danica will be the first one to tell you that she works very hard at her skills of driving the car, but she also recognizes that the marketability that she brings to the sport and to sponsors is also one of her strong suits. And you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, definitely. I think she's doing great, so that's awesome. And you have a Jeff Gordon Children's Foundation that you founded in 1999, helping kids, you know, that are suffering from cancer. So what is something like you're really proud about with your foundation, and like that provides help, like what your foundation does?
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very proud of it. You know, once you meet children like through an organization, Make-A-Wish, that are battling with a life-threatening illness like cancer, or as a parent, I meet the parents, you know, it just really touches you, and you want to do all you can to not only help them, but to prevent these illnesses from affecting children in the future. And so, you know, I started the foundation, and we've been able to grow it and support research labs, and you know, create better ways for treatment and access to treatment here in the U.S. as well as even globally. Over in Rwanda, we started our own cancer center over there. So you know, other than the millions of dollars we've been able to raise through fundraising and to give to these great organizations like the Children's Oncology Group, Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, Make-A-Wish, other great organizations out there too, the most pride that I take is just when I meet a parent, you know, and they've told me, thank you so much for what you do for bringing more awareness to this cause, and trying to help, you know, make sure that there aren't children out there that are suffering from this illness, and they maybe had lost a child, or maybe they had someone that, you know, a child that had gotten treatment and actually survived the cancer, and you know, once you hear that from a parent, there's nothing more rewarding.
Yeah, definitely. I love your foundation. I think it's amazing. But you also make quilts for your foundation, right? Is that right?
Well, we did a quilt program for the families over in Rwanda. So we have the Promise Circle, which is basically you know, females that get together that want to talk about pediatric cancer and the Jeff Gordon Children's Foundation, and come together as a group of members that want to make a difference in their community, as well as the overall mission for the Jeff Gordon Children's Foundation. And so there was a group of ladies that said, hey, you know, Jeff's going to Rwanda. We'd like to make some quilts for some of the patients and some of the mothers over there for him to take. And they were beautiful. They're amazing. And, you know, everything's very colorful over there. So they went over very, very well.
Yeah, definitely. Color, you know, is always really good with that kind of stuff. Have you ever made a quilt yourself? Or?
No, I can't say that I have.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. I've never tried, but I've seen people do it, and it looks really hard. So
sure it is.
Yeah, definitely. So your foundation, your website, JeffGordonChildrenFoundation.org, but you also have a Corvette that you're raffling off?
Yeah, so one of our fundraisers that we do, and we've been very fortunate to be partnered up with Chevrolet on this, where they donate a Chevy Corvette, which we have one of the new 2014 Stingray Corvettes for our latest raffle. And what we do is if you go to JeffGordonChildren'sFoundation.org, you can register to win through a raffle ticket, a $100 raffle ticket, and all the proceeds will go to pediatric cancer, and someone's going to walk away with the keys to that brand new beautiful Corvette.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to want that Corvette, man. I want that Corvette. We have been talking with one of the best racers, Jeff Gordon here. Thank you so much for talking to me, and good luck with your races.
That's great to have you here. Thank you very much. This was fun.